Good morning. It's Feature Friday. I haven't been here for a while, so this is kind of fun. Um, we're gonna do just a real basic this morning. But one of the things that Nikki and I had talked about earlier was the ha adding a section for the sales page, offer page, delivery page that has like a bullet list. I know oftentimes when you're creating a sales page, you want to do like a list of features or something like that. So that is likely going to happen. I put it in as a feature request, which, by the way, if you ever see something that you want, just hit the live chat and send something through, because what we have is a feature list and things like that, which are completely reasonable and I would use myself. We just go ahead and have the team, we just add it to the list for the team. So there's two things that are happening right now. One of them is, and you have seen a lot of changes on the editor, the little editor bar that pops up in both the digital product and also on the website size. We've now gotten to the point where that's kind of standardized and you have the same features in both. So there is kind of a race going on as we're adding features to that editor bar. And then like a duct tape of putting in sections like the bullet points or that kind of stuff when we don't have that functionality in the editor bar. So what will happen is there will be a race, whether it's a section that needs to have the bullets, or if the editor bar can get the bullets earlier, then we won't even need the section. You'll just be able to add the bullets any place that there is a thing on the editor bar. So I'm going to be talking to the team over the next, we have a meeting every Monday. So as far as what that looks like, can we get the editor bar function so that you can have bullet points like, oh my gosh, bullet points anywhere? Like, what is the world coming to? I know, we get excited about the smallest things. but, or if that will be a section that we add there. And this is a global conversation. We are very aware that in the, like, especially in the digital product section, where it's like, if there's 7 bullet points on that page, you're basically stuck with coming up with 7 ideas that create a bullet point. We get that that's a little odd and a little awkward sometimes, although AI has made it a lot easier because you're like, well, I can come up with 3. Hopefully AI can come up with the other 4. But think about what that would have looked like before AI. You're like, oh my gosh, I only have 2 points, but I have to come up with 5 more because my stupid page has 7 bullet points. So we get that. The other thing that is coming that is these sections and of course all these things have been in our head is like, oh, we're doing this, and then it just takes a little time to get it launched. But if you had a section you within the digital product for kind of like we have on the website where you're like, oh, I don't like that layout, I don't like that layout. Well, you'll have a section layout that, okay, it's text. Oh, I don't want text. Oh, I want it to be a heading. Oh, I want it to be a bullet list. Oh, I want it to be a chart. Oh, I want it to be something else. So that spinner that you see in the sections on the offer page and the delivery page, those will be functionality within the digital product build as building blocks. So that is going to make things a lot easier. And that's one of the other reasons why some of these things are a little bit slow in coming out, because it's like when we get to that functionality, like everything changes. And you can imagine when we get to that functionality, we don't need as many templates for all these different things, because you're like, oh, I want a photo here. Oh, I want it round. Oh, I want it square. I want 3 photos. Oh, I want 7 photos, that kind of thing. So it'll get a lot easier. And one of the reasons why we want it that way is because I think it will keep the simplicity of the overall layout. One of the beautiful things that, we are very proud of is you can come into Pagewheel and make something very quickly because you're not overwhelmed with questions and choices and that kind of stuff, which makes that point A to point B very quick. But obviously flexibility and, being pigeonholed into 7 bullet points when you really only want 4 is one of the downsides, but this is going to help, relieve some of that pressure. So, kind of that's where we're going in the, forward facing. Let's see, I know that I wanted to announce, let me remember exactly what is coming there. Next week, there's going to be 1 or 2 really cool things that are going to be coming out on probably Monday or Tuesday. We are testing them behind the scenes, and they're going really well. But we don't push things out on Friday because because we learned our lesson. We used to do that. So watch for that. And I think they'll be super obvious when you see them. But what I wanted to walk through this morning is something really, really simple that one of our newer customers brought up to me the other day that I hadn't even thought about. And I think this is, like some of you that have, or like me, that have been in this product from the beginning might not have even thought about it. And so I know some of you are helping affiliates. I know some of you are bringing on people, to help build products within Pagewheel. And then some of you are new and haven't thought about some of these things too. So I thought this is a very simple thing, but it was one of the things that it hadn't even occurred to me. And I think a lot of times when we're really close to something, we kind of overlook some crazy stuff. So let's look at what this is. So this is when you first log into Pagewheel, this is what you see. And, this is what when you hit that home button anywhere on the website, this is where you would come, and you have 3 different options. Our traditional, our core of what we started with, the product builder is that first choice. The web page builder, which kind of skips that product builder step and just creates the website, the offer page, and beyond, is there. Those of you who came in with an Amazon, with the thought of, I want to create Amazon pages, that kind of stuff, you'll go straight to this middle. Those of you who want to launch maybe a workshop or something without that digital product, you can come straight to that and have that functionality. And basically, let's just click on this so that you can remind yourself. Instead of, remember, originally with the digital product, we know what you made, so we can create that sales page and further. Well, this skips that step so that you describe what you've made so that we can create those things for you with this step. And just as a reminder, there's the program and then the product. And then if it is on Amazon, you just click that. So there's 2 different ways to go about that. And then going to copy packs or over to where the AI will write your content. And then generally in that land, you're then taking that content and putting it somewhere else. So you're taking that content that AI creates and you're putting it on Pinterest, or you're putting it on Facebook, or you're putting it on Instagram, or you're putting it in a blog post. Whereas these other first 2 steps are like, hey, we're in Pagewheel and we're moving forward. So let's say that we click on go to the product builder. There are 3 steps. So if someone is like, I can't find the button to make a website, these 3 steps on this product, basically the second step of building a digital product, looks very similar to that first dashboard page. And so when you think about it, when you're like, here's 3 things, and here's 3 things, that it can be very, very confusing as to where you are. So teaching someone to go back to this page to start the process can be really, really helpful. And it was really funny because this was a conversation where, like those conversations you get into and you're like, am I crazy? And they're thinking the same thing. Am I crazy? They're like, no, that button is not there. And I realized, oh my gosh, this to a new person or someone unfamiliar with Pagewheel looks very much like that front page. Um, the cool thing is we're going to be altering this in the next few weeks so that they're very different, so that they're not three choices within each one. That has to do with what we're launching next week. That is going to give you a little bit more choices within this digital realm where, in fact, I'll just spill the beans on that, is that we creating a product within the Pagewheel system won't have to be a digital product anymore. It's going to be things like a survey or a tool like a calculator or something like that, so that you're going to be able to use this for things that aren't just PDFs that people would use online or print out. So this is going to change a little bit, but until that happens, just remembering that this path makes sense when you come from the front page, but may make less sense if you're coming in from a second page or something like that, where people are like, no, I just want the website. But when they're on this page, they're like, there's no choice for just making the website. And we will be adding like, no, I just want to make a website button here, just because of that. We realize that confusion does, like, if you jump into that process and you're like, oh, I don't even know where that home base is. So anyway, that's coming, and that's all going to be within that functionality that's coming out next week. So good things are happening, and I can't wait to see that all, because I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of us. So let's see. Any questions about that or anything else? We are definitely tech geeks now. I love it. No, we should just all have our breakfast together on Fridays. I think that's a really good idea. Oh, Mark, I'm so glad to see you here. I think I owe you an email, a message back.
I'm
You're on
just
my.
being, I want to know what Diane was selling.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Diane, that keeps popping up. I want to know what she's selling too.
You know what, Diane, she's not here today, is she? Diane's so funny because she's like the FOMO person that when she sees your guys's pop up, she's like, what? So she would be really proud that we saw hers pop up.
And I
And
think
I
those
want to know
bubble,
what kind of pie KJ is eating.
yeah, definitely.
It's breakfast pie.
Mhm. I just made it up live on Facebook. It's a peanut butter cup pie with a peanut butter crust. It's sugar-free.
Oh, KJ, you're speaking my love language, girl.
It's good. They're back there writing up the recipe right now so I can post it. It is good.
And all you need is a little chocolate, and I'm there all day long.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Even
I
the crust
love,
is peanut butter.
I
You're gonna
love
need
the,
to you're gonna need to
sorry.
put your link in the comments so we can all engage in your post when it goes live later today.
So Holly,
popular.
I love the subscriber bubbles so much. I want our customers who come to see them pop up too, but not with our names, with other customer names. I suggested that quite a while ago. Don't you guys think that would be good? Because it's reinforcing. It's like those little, don't miss out on this opportunity kind of thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna be playing around with that too. That this is not like a next month thing, but it's one of those things that we have on the list. For the other thing we've had the feedback is that you'd like to be able to turn them off, which I totally get. So we'd have the ability to turn it off, or like make them more targeted too. So the other thing is to get those onto I love them on the sales page. When, like, you see, oh, 6 hours ago, somebody so-and-so from Vermont bought one, that kind of thing. I think that's a really cool thing. So, Cynthia.
I just have my hand raised because Mark whoever Mark is, Mark Wallace,
Yes.
asking about enterprise level onboarding. And I didn't know if
Yes.
somebody's a customer and they better get him their link. If not, you can direct. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'll send him mine.
So yes, we and this is one of the things that I've been trying to piece together because obviously we need to get our act together if we are which with Mark I've not had my act together, so let's just be really clear. So but we're going to be offering two different things. And those of you who've been with us forever and ever, and amen, or are enterprise users, we're going to help you set that up for free. Obviously, or if you've been in makers and been around Rachel's spheres forever and ever, amen, coming in and helping you guys get set up. But then the second level of this, and this is where this has gotten a little bit complicated because of course, I don't know who's in which bucket to a certain extent. So I wanted to make sure that we did that right, is that Rachel and I and we have another coach, and probably we'll have several more coaches that will help us in the future, is that we will be adding kind of an upsell to the onboarding process for we're going to start with offering it to because it was specifically came out of the enterprise sphere, is enterprise users who might be onboarding a bunch of people that I know this is going to be crazy, that aren't paid, like tried to do, I just want to live and breathe Pagewheel. They might be a coach that has a bunch of people that just need the functionality of Pagewheel, is that we're going to be offering a one-on-one onboarding session. Rachel's been doing a ton of these over the last few weeks to kind of figure out a template for, and let's just, everything we do is like super transparent, because I think one of the things that we love is when we learn something, it might be helpful to you so let me talk helpful you in your business. Let me talk about like what we looked at. We started out with hour-long onboarding sessions, which was really helpful. But what happens a lot of times in that 1 hour onboarding is it's very overwhelming. We end up doing a lot of the work, and then they almost feel like they're like dropped off a cliff after the end of they might have a product, but then like they don't know how to edit it. Like it was just too much too soon. So one of the things that Rachel's found is that we're still going to do an hour, but we're going to do a 30-minute session with someone, make that initial product with them, and give them some time to play with it, edit it, that kind of stuff. Then do a follow-up 30-minute session where we're answering the questions that came up while they tried to do that. If they weren't able to edit it, we're going to walk them through that, so that the first part is more like a done with you, and then the second part is more like you do it and we just assist that kind of stuff. So just like kind of an interesting thought is like when it's broken up, same amount of time broken up seems to work better because it gives someone a little bit of time to play with it. Just for your information, it like the people who are in Pagewheel, who are using Pagewheel and seem like pretty happy with it. The people who buy the product and never open it, not happy. So anything that we can do to get their hands into the product and so forth. So the bottom line of that is we're going to be launching this to the enterprise users first, where if you want us to walk through your people one-on-one, we'll be starting that at $150 for that 2 30-minute sessions. And that way we can get your people up and rolling and our goal for that is really to launch their first whatever, so that we take that tech obstacle out of their business. So that's the page that I'm putting together, and just be aware that that's the buckets. But if you are an enterprise user and you need to be walked through your own stuff, that you don't have to sign up for that. We'll do something similar to that on a higher level for your business. So that that's where that is. No, Rachel does not sleep. we were having a conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, no one on earth outworks Rachel. Like there's like, that is a given. And it is funny because she'll disappear for a few days. And I know, like most, like I would go get on a boat, or I would go for a walk, or I would go to the mall. And no, Rachel's doing something. So, and she'll come back with, look what I've done. So, yes, Nikki, I love that. Page feels like an exercise machine. It doesn't work if you don't get on. I know, it's so frustrating. I mean, and it is like so frustrating because I'm like, oh, it's just too complicated. I'm like, let's get in and actually take a look at it. So, oh my goodness. So when I get that, by the way, those of you in the enterprise level, I will be sending that. I'll be posting it in the group, so that you can have access to that link, if you want to use it or your people want to use it. And that's really like, you could set it up so that your people just basically you arrange it so your people just show up, or you can do it kind of the other way where you're like, hey, I'm they're going to pay for this, or I'm going to, that's kind of the complication here, is that, who's going to pay the bill? Like, we want to make it not like awkward. So that's kind of where we're working on that. Those of you who are, maybe at another level, not enterprise level, we are working so that that is offered to you. If you want to do something like that, it's kind of like a coaching session, which, both Rachel and I charge way more than $150 for an hour of our time for coaching. So it's probably a pretty, especially here it's first, when it will be Rachel and I for the most part, that might not be a good deal if you want to get in on that. We're going to make that eventually an upsell on our Pagewheel. Sign up is, hey, do you want a one-on-one onboarding? So that you can see that we would do an upsell for our own product there. So that just another, and by the way, the order bumps and upsells in Pagewheel in general are coming out very soon as well. So those are
Isn't that something we could offer as agency owners too, maybe, or maybe not offer, but include the idea of how much that's worth. So when they're buying Pagewheel and they're getting that meeting with you for that hour, whoever you are,
yes. So
value of that's a $200 up, would be a $200 onboarding with anybody else.
Yeah. So that's kind of where this started, because we hadn't and if you've been with us for a while, everything that is part of Pagewheel was because somebody was like, hey, why don't you do this? And we're like, oh, okay. But there are people that are selling, coaching programs, thousands of dollars a month that has Pagewheel as part of their, of that system. And so it was a natural thing, because then in their value stack, they're pricing one-on-one onboarding into this software that, the customers oftentimes don't know what that charge is. And so, but it is of a much higher value. So totally legitimate to say, hey, I have an insight on this to get you in here on a one-on-one coaching program.
Yeah. And then we can just compare ourselves to what Holly and Rachel would charge, which is way more than 150.
Way more. I mean, billions.
Only need one sale then.
I know. In fact, why are we working so hard? Let's just go for that one sale.
When you say upsells are coming, are you talking like, so for example, I offered a free gut health resource yesterday, and I built it all out, hoping to use the upsell to try to sell my upcoming gut health course. And after I got it all built out on Kajabi, I built it out on my website, found out that I can't do an upsell on a free product. And I'm like, that is ridiculous. So that's what I want to be able to do, is to give a free download and say, oh, by the way, you could get more if you buy this course.
So there's two different, and I'm learning this too. So I may be not in my brain. There's basically two things, and that we're working on both, but the first one is simpler and will be first. So there is what they would call an order bump. And that's what we're going to be able to come out with first. But I do think just logistically, now that you say that, KJ, it has to start with a payment. So I don't know that, like, because the way that it works behind the scenes, I can't even believe I'm saying stuff like this, but it's that, it has the payment processor open, and then it's like, oh, do you want to add this? Kind of like those things at the checkout, like, oh, do you need the gum? Of course I need the gum. So that
is that like a tripwire?
So the trip, what, and
Is the order bump and a tripwire the same thing, or how they?
let's talk. No, the order bump is like you are checking. Like, let's say you're selling Lana a $15 book, and so someone's filling out the, I want to buy Lana's book. And then they'll get to a little pop-up or a little box on that order form that says, oh, do you want the audio version too? Add it here for $5.99. And so
Right, I've done that.
check
Okay.
that. So that's an order bump.
Okay, I've done
But
that.
they have to be, it's embedded in that order page. That's
Okay.
something that's simpler to deploy. That is something that we'll be able to offer, so that you can put those into your Pagewheel products soon.
Okay.
And that's something, that's the first one. The second one is kind of that upsell. And this is like, wait, there's more, those pages, those are where I think, like, where you can convert someone from free to up thing is that. But I'm going to ask Rachel about that too, because I may not fully understand the whole system. But those are absolutely where we want to go with this, because like you say, KJ, that is where we get a lot of our magic is, here's something free. Oh, by the way, you love me. I just gave you something. Don't you want this? So we're hopefully all of that is something that we want to be involved in. Mark, I'm going to have to send it to you. In fact, I'm just going to put you on my calendar and we'll get you onboarded. Yeah. Because like I don't have it yet. Let's see. All right. Anything else today? All righty. So if you have any needs, or just the live chat is where we're going to go. Mark, I'm going to reach out to you in live chat in just a few minutes, and Nikki, same thing with you. So, and then if I owe anyone else information, just ping me in the live chat, because I have a stack of you guys.
Just whatever Diane's product was, that's all.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this time of year, it's probably gardening, knowing Diane.
That'd be my guess. What?
Cynthia.
Hey, before you go, I'm still having that problem. I couldn't get into Pagewheel yesterday. I had to go completely out and then go back to the beginning. I can log right in at the front page. It's just when it tries to take me from a product to copy packs, then it wipes out my password. It'll show my email, but then it's got that little, I don't know, like thing over it that tells me enter password, and I can't put my password over it or under it or whatever. So I have to go all the way back out and come back in.
They thought they had fixed that. So
I thought it was gone too, but it just happened to me yesterday.
It's one of those bugs. If we can't reproduce it, like they were like, they fixed it. I went and tested it a bunch of times and we're fine. And so I will get them back on that then and see if we can get you in there because that's not cool. Yeah, whack-a-mole. I don't think I'm very good at that. So.
Well, if they need to whack somebody and have an example, get a hold of me. I'm whackable to show you the problem. I know it'll get fixed then if they can find it.
Exactly. Are you using Chrome, Cynthia?
Yes. Yes, I use Chrome, but I think it might have something to do with LastPass, because I think Sandy Giller and some other people had
I had that problem because I use LastPass as well.
And I think it might be a LastPass problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a techie, so don't go there. That's why I have
Although I haven't had a problem recently, but it was intermittently when it did happen.
Yeah. Christina said it kept doing for it to her on Safari. and it's really challenging because just, our coders are like in Georgia and Ukraine and these places around the world. And then we're here in the US saying, in, Texas on my Chrome, my LastPass is doing this. And they're like, yeah, we don't have that. So at some point, but it was really weird because I thought we had fixed that, but obviously there's something weird happening. And I may, Cynthia, if you're going to be around this morning, I may hop on with you and get a screenshot or two from you. So I'll send you a message if that it can. And you've opened up a conversation with me on intercom this morning.
Not this morning. I did one the other day about changing my email, but I haven't sent one in on this because I figured it was,
Okay.
some of the stuff I don't report because it'll go away magically, but this one hasn't gone away magically.
I'll pull up that last one. We can't like start a conversation with you guys, which is kind of awkward sometimes. So a lot of times you'll see me going back and finding an old thread. So if you're like, why is she pulling up something from 6 months ago? It's just because that's how we find you. So yeah, Georgia, the country, not the US state. Otherwise it would be easier and much more expensive. All right. Thank y'all. We will see you next week. Have a
Thanks,
good
Holly.
weekend.